malaking pagbabago yun para sa amin. Hindi lang sa basketball, kundi rin po sa
Avoiding text or SMS scams. Have you ever received a text message from an unknown sender offering you a prize or a job opportunity that seems too good to be true? This could be text message scams, and falling for them can put your personal information and finances at risk. Here are some tips to help you avoid the text message scams. Do not reply to unknown senders. If you receive a text message from an unknown sender, do not reply. Scammers often send messages to random phone numbers to see who responds. Do not share your personal information. Be cautious when someone asks for your personal information, such as your full name, home address, bank account details, or credit card information. Legitimate organizations won't ask for this information via text message. Do not click on suspicious links. Text message scams may include links to fake websites that can steal your personal information. If you're unsure about the link, do not click on it. Use spam filters and antivirus software. These tools can help protect you from text message scams and other types of cyber attacks. By following these simple steps, you can protect yourself from text message scams and keep your personal information safe. If you do receive a suspicious text message, report it to the National Privacy Commission or to your service provider. Securing DPWH from within, building a stronger defense against cyber threats. To report cybersecurity-related suspicious activities and for assistance on cybersecurity, please contact the IT Help Desk at local 43070 or email ithelpdesk@dpwh.gov.ph. Additionally, you can report your concern to the IT Service Desk application, which can be accessed on your desktop or the DPWH intranet website. Creating strong passwords. Did you know that weak passwords are one of the easiest ways for hackers to gain access to your accounts and steal your personal information? Creating strong passwords is an essential part of keeping your online accounts secure. Here are some tips for creating strong passwords. Use a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. A strong password should include a mix of upper and lower case letters, numbers, and symbols. This makes it harder for hackers to guess or crack your password. Make it long. The longer your password, the more difficult it is to crack. Aim for a password that is at least 8 characters long. Avoid personal information. Don't use your name, birth date, or other personal information as your password. This information can be easily found online, making it easier for hackers to guess your password. Avoid words in the dictionary. Don't use words that can be found in the dictionary, as this can be easily cracked by hackers using dictionary brute force attack. Use a unique password for each account. Using the same password for multiple accounts is risky, as a hacker who gains access to one account can then access all of your accounts. Do not share your passwords or accounts. Avoid sharing your passwords or allowing others to use your accounts. Sharing passwords increases the likelihood of an unauthorized access and compromises the security of your accounts. By following these simple tips, you can create strong passwords to help keep your online accounts secure. Remember, a strong password is the first line of defense against hackers and cyber attacks. Securing DPWH from within, building a stronger defense against cyber threats. To report cybersecurity-related suspicious activities and for assistance on cybersecurity, please contact the IT Help Desk at local 43070 or email ithelpdesk@dpwh.gov.ph. Additionally, you can report your concern to the IT Service Desk application, which can be accessed on your desktop, or the DPWH intranet website.
Hi, ako nga pala si Laika, ang inyong Data Protection Officer. Alam niyo ba na meron ng RA 10173 or ang Data Privacy Act? Layan nito na protektahan ng mga individual o data subjects sa di-autorisadong pagproseso ng mga personal information. Pero teka, ano nga ba ang maituturing na personal information? Ang personal information ay ang mga detalye na maaaring magamit na pagkakakilanlan ng isang buhay na individual katulad ng pangalan at address, contact details, GSIS number, tax identification number, email address, financial, health, at purchase records. Pero hindi kasama dito ang mga impormasyon na may kinalaman sa posisyon o tungkulin ng mga kasalukuyan o dating nanunungkulan sa gobyerno o mga individual, grupo ng individual o organisasyon na nagkaroon ng kontrata o nagbigay ng katulad ng serbisyo. Hindi rin kasama ang mga impormasyon na gagamitin para sa journalistic purposes o para may sa katuparan ng mga opisyal na katungkulan ng mga monetary authorities, law enforcement at regulatory agencies. Bilang mga empleyado ng DPWH, may mga personal information tayong binibigay sa departamento upang gawing kapaki-pakinabang ang mga serbisyo, kaya na lang ng mga information na nasa 201 files, Statement of Assets and Liabilities and Net Worth, or SALN. May mga computer applications din tayo na naglalaman o maaaring maglaman ng ating personal information, kagaya ng Personal Information System, Regular Payroll System, e-portal, Training Management System, at yung Legal Case Information Application. Di ba ang dami? Sa department pa lang yan. Paano pa sa iba? Halimbawa, credit card application, health insurance claims. Yung mga kahit na lang yung pag-sign up na lang sa mga websites kagaya ng Facebook, Instagram, at kung ano-ano pa. Lahat yan nangihingi ng mga personal information. At kapag nakita o na-access ito ng hindi authorized na tao, pwede itong nakamin, murahin, palitan, o gamitin sa maling paraan na pwede magresulta sa pag-aantala sa mga serbisyo at pag-leak ng mga confidential information. Pwede rin tayong ma-stalk o pwede rin gamitin nila ang mga nakuhang personal information sa identity theft. Sa Data Privacy Act, nasusulat ang mga pamamaraan na dapat sundin sa pagkolekta, pagproseso at paggamit ng mga personal information, pati na rin ang mga karapatan ng isang data subject. Sa pagkolekta at pagproseso ng personal information, ito ang mga dapat nating tandaan. Una, Dapat maunawaan natin kung anong data ang kinukolekta, bakit ito kinukolekta, at saan gagamitin ang mga ito. Pangalawa, dapat din natin masigurado na ang mga impormasyon na ibinibigay natin ay gagamitin lang ng naaayon sa layunin nito. Dapat din natin masigurado ang kalidad ng pagpoproseso ng ating impormasyon. Hindi rin dapat itabi o itago ang mga impormasyon na mas matagal na panahon ayon sa nakasaad sa batas. At hindi basta-basta dapat ipamigay o ibahagi ng walang pasabi at walang kaukulang kasunduan. Sa ilalim din ng batas na ito, nasusulat ang mga karapatan ng bawat data subject. At ito ay ang the right to be informed, the right to access, the right to object, the right to erasure or blocking, the right to damages, the right to file a complaint, the right to rectify, and the right to data portability. Ilang individual at bilang kawani ng gobyerno, mahalagang alamin natin kung paano natin mapapanatiling ligtas at pribado ang ating personal information. Kung may nakita kayong paglabag sa Data Privacy Act o para sa mga karagdagang katanungan o impormasyon, tumawag lamang sa numerong 43053 o mag-email sa dpo@dpwh.gov.ph. Salamat!
Phishing emails. Phishing emails are a common way for cybercriminals to steal your personal information or infect your device with malware. Here are some tips to help you avoid falling for phishing scams. Be cautious of unexpected or suspicious emails. Phishing emails often pretend to be from a trusted source, but they usually have misspelled words, unknown senders, and urgent requests. Verify the source. Check the email address and any links in the email to make sure they are legitimate. Do not click on any links unless you're sure they are safe. Do not share personal information. Legitimate organizations won't ask for personal information like passwords or credit card details via email. By following these simple steps, you can protect yourself from phishing scams and keep your personal information safe. DPWH ICT resources are protected with antivirus software and spam filters, providing a robust defense against various cyber threats. However, it's important to note that personal devices may not have the same level of protection. Securing DPWH from within, building a stronger defense against cyber threats. To report cybersecurity-related suspicious activities and assistance on cybersecurity, please contact the IT Help Desk at local 43070 or email ithelpdesk@dpwh.gov.ph. Additionally, you can report your concern to the IT Service Desk application, which can be accessed on your desktop or the DPWH intranet website. Avoiding text or SMS scams. Have you ever received a text message from an unknown sender offering you a prize or a job opportunity that seems too good to be true? This could be text message scams, and falling for them can put your personal information and finances at risk. Here are some tips to help you avoid the text message scams. Do not reply to unknown senders. If you receive a text message from an unknown sender, do not reply. Scammers often send messages to random phone numbers to see who responds. Do not share your personal information. Be cautious when someone asks for your personal information, such as your full name, home address, bank account details, or credit card information. Legitimate organizations won't ask for this information via text message. Do not click on suspicious links. Text message scams may include links to fake websites that can steal your personal information. If you're unsure about the link, do not click on it. Use spam filters and antivirus software. These tools can help protect you from text message scams and other types of cyber attacks. By following these simple steps, you can protect yourself from text message scams and keep your personal information safe. If you do receive a suspicious text message, report it to the National Privacy Commission or to your service provider. Securing DPWH from within, building a stronger defense against cyber threats. To report cybersecurity related suspicious activities and for assistance on cybersecurity, please contact the IT Help Desk at local 43070 or email ithelpdesk@dpwh.gov.ph. Additionally, you can report your concern to the IT Service Desk application, which can be accessed on your desktop or the DPWH intranet website. Creating strong passwords. Did you know that weak passwords are one of the easiest ways for hackers to gain access to your accounts and steal your personal information? Creating strong passwords is an essential part of keeping your online accounts secure. Here are some tips for creating strong passwords. Use a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. A strong password should include a mix of upper and lower case letters, numbers, and symbols. This makes it harder for hackers to guess or crack your password. Make it long. The longer your password, the more difficult it is to crack. Aim for a password that is at least 8 characters long. Avoid
Ang karapatan ng isang data subject. Sa pagkolekta at pagproseso ng personal information, ito ang mga dapat nating tandaan. Una, dapat maunawaan natin kung anong data ang kinokolekta, bakit ito kinokolekta, at sa
Good afternoon, Madam Robbie.
Mambabayan na YouTube, be?
Mic test. Hello.
Nakita mo na. Maulit ko hit video. Video ko.
Hello.
Si Mayor di klaro eh. Si attorney. Ha?
Good afternoon. The pre-bid conference is now called to order. Before we begin, may I call on Engineer Demi for the prayer. Please all stand. Let's put ourselves in the presence of our Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings and graces you bestow upon us. Thank you for keeping us safe and healthy. We pray for your guidance as we gather today for our pre-bid conference. Give us the wisdom to understand beyond words, strength to overcome our weaknesses, and patience to endure the challenges we experience at our homes and workplace. Continue to bless us with gratitude in our hearts so that we may always see the good in simple things and find the inspiration to perform our duties with our utmost dedication. Father, we commit this day to you and ask you to go before us. Amen. Once again, good afternoon to the members of the Bids and Awards Committee, to the Technical Working Group, the Secretariat, and the Procurement Unit headed by Engineer Emil Datan, to our representatives from Planning and Design Division, to our representative from the Commission on Audit, and to everyone who is watching today's pre-bid conference for various infra projects via YouTube channel of DPWH Regional Office 9 Procurement Livestream. Welcome to the pre-bid conference for contract ID 26J00063, 26J00095, 26J00096, and 26J00136. For the record, today is June 4th, 2026. And to confirm quorum, may I call on Engineer Demi to do the roll call? Good afternoon, Madam Chair. We'd like to acknowledge the presence of the following for the pre-bid conference of our various infra projects. For government side, present are the regional block members, headed by our block chairperson, Attorney Beverly B. Mata-Wood. Our block regular members, we have Engineer Khadija S. Serajan, Engineer Danilo O. De Leon, and Attorney Elaine Zhang C. Duran. We also have our block provisional members for all types of project procurement, Engineer Michael D. Torino. We'd also like to acknowledge the members of our presenters from Planning and Design Division. We have Engineer Benher A. Jumaidi, Engineer Arafi A. Saluan, Engineer Ahmed M. Lam, and Engineer Saifuddin Makadalaya. Invitation was also sent to the resident auditor of our Commission on Audit and as represented by Ms. Yana Maxine Siroa. Also, invitation was also sent to Mr. Frederick R. Chong, National Director of National Constructors Associations of the Philippines Incorporated, to Mrs. Maria Ana G. Tumol, Executive Director of Philippine Green Building Council, to Mr. Faisal C. Asiman, President of the Moma Contractors Association, and to Transparency International Philippines Incorporated. However, none attended. We'd also like to acknowledge the members of the procurement unit headed by Engineer Renilda Dita. Our contractor side invited but none attended. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you. Thank you. Considering that majority of the members of the BAC are present today, quorum is hereby confirmed and declared. For our agenda, we have the brief presentation of an explanation of the basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, documents to be submitted by the bidders, criteria and procedure for eligibility, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation, questions and comments from bidders, other matters, and lastly, summary of proceedings, including supplemental or bid bulletins to be issued. We will now head on to the brief presentation of the basic contract data to our presenters.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ledwin Chumaki from the Planning and Design Division. So, for the contract ID 26J0003, contract name of road widening, primary roads, Dipolog, Sindangan, Liloy Road, S01057 K1921 plus 592 to K1922 plus 321, K1922 plus 402 to K1923 plus 000, K1924 plus 540 to K1925 plus 817. Location, Zamboanga del Norte 2nd District. Implementing Office, DPWH Regional Office 9, Construction Division. Funding source, General Appropriations Act, Fiscal Year 2026. Approved budget for the contract or ABC, 101,256,025.23 pesos. Scope of works, roads construction, PCCP, 2.73 kilometers. Contract duration, 279 calendar days. For the major similar category of works, major category of works, RCP roads, construction, PCCP. Similar category of works, RRP roads, rehabilitation, PCCP. And RCPP roads, construction, panel, PCCP. So for the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. 1 low bed trailer, 2 dump truck, 1 payloader, 1 bulldozer, DX175, 1 backhoe with pavement breaker, 1 cold milling machine, 1 backhoe, 1 boom truck, 1 motorized road grader, 1 vibratory roller, 4 transit mixer, 2 concrete vibrator, 1 concrete batching plant, 1 concrete screeder, 1 concrete saw, 1 bar cutter, 1 mechanized joint sealer machine, 1 bagger mixer, 1 plate compactor, 1 cargo truck, 1 bar bender, 1 backhoe wheel type, 1 cargo truck, 1 applicator machine, 1 kneading machine. And for the minimum work experience requirements for key personnel are the following. 1 project manager with 5 years of general experience and relevant experience. 1 project engineer with 5 years of general experience and relevant experience. 1 DPWH accredited materials engineer, 1 with 5 years of general experience and relevant experience. 1 safety and health officer with 3 years general experience and 3 years of relevant experience. 1 foreman of 5 years general experience and 5 years relevant experience. Please include the PIN number of all pledged personnel.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rafi Saluan from Planning and Design Division. Contract data, contract ID of 26J00095, contract name, Rehabilitation of Multipurpose Building, Bongao Water District Office Building, at Barangay Tubig, Bongao, Tawi-Tawi, with coordinates of 5.023.591 and 119.76810. Location, Sulu, 2nd DO. Implementing Office, DPWH Regional Office 9, Construction Division. Source of funds, General Appropriations Act, GAA FY 2026. Approved budget for the contract ABC 4,928,226.0 pesos. Scope of works, buildings repaired. Contract duration 150 calendar days. For major similar category of works, major category of works, BIR, buildings repair. Similar category of works, BIRTH, buildings, retrofitting high-rise. BIRTH 16, buildings, retrofitting high-rise, 16 and above stories. BIRTN, buildings, retrofitting, medium-rise, 6 to 15 stories. BIRTL, buildings, retrofitting, low-rise, 1 to 5 stories. BICWP LCDP, buildings, construction with piles, low-rise. Concrete frame given piles, 1 to 5 stories. BICW PHCDP, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise, concrete frame given piles of 6 and above stories. BICWPHCDP 16, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame, given piles of 16 and above stories. BICWPHCCP, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame, cast-in-place piles, 6 and above stories. BIOWPHCCP 16, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame, cast-in-place piles, 16 and above stories. BICWPLSDP, buildings, construction with piles, low-rise steel frame, driven piles, 1 to 5 stories. BICWHSDP, building, construction with piles, high-rise steel, driven piles, 6 and above stories. BIOWPHSDP 16, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise steel, driven piles, 16 and above stories. BICWPLSCP, buildings, construction with piles, low-rise steel, cast-in-place piles, 1 to 5 stories. BICWPHSCP, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise steel, cast-in-place, 6 and above stories. BICWPHSCP 16, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise steel frame, cast-in-place, 16 and above stories. BICWOPLS, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise steel, 1 to 5 stories. BICWOPHS, buildings, construction without piles, high-rise steel, 6 and above stories. BICWOPHS 16, buildings, construction without piles, high-rise steel, 16 and above stories. BICWOPLC, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame, 1 to 5 stories. BICWOPHC, buildings, construction without piles, high-rise concrete, 6 and above stories. BICWOPHC 16, buildings, construction without piles, high-rise concrete frame, 16 and above stories. BICWPLCDP, buildings, construction with piles, medium-rise concrete, driven piles, 6 to 15 stories. BICWPNCCP, buildings, construction with piles, medium-rise concrete, cast-in-place piles, 16 to 15 stories. BICWOPLC, buildings, construction without piles, medium-rise concrete, 6 to 15 stories. BICWPMSDP, buildings, construction with piles, medium-rise steel, driven piles, 6 to 15 stories. BICWPMSCP, buildings, construction with piles, medium-rise steel, cast in place, 6 to 15 stories. BICWOPNS buildings, construction without piles, medium rise steel, 6 to 15 stories. BIC building, completion, BIRN building, renovation, BIRS building, restoration. For the minimum major equipment requirements, one backhoe, 2 dump truck, 1 pit compactor, 1 bar bender, 1 bar cutter, 2 welding machine, 1 cutting outfit, 1 truck mounted crane, and 1 ladder mixer. For the minimum work experience requirements for the personnel, 1 project manager with 5 years of general and relevant experience, 1 DPWH accredited project engineer with 5 years of general and relevant experience, 1 DPWH accredited materials engineer with 5 years of general and relevant experience, 1 safety and health officer with 3 years of general and relevant experience, 1 foreman with 5 years of general and relevant experience. Please include the TIN number of all pledge persons.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Amenilla from the Planning and Design Division. For the contract data, contract ID 26J00096, contract name, Rehabilitation of Multipurpose Building, Radyo Pilipinas Building, Barangay Tubig, Bongao, Tawi-Tawi, with the coordinates of 5.023483 and 119.76752. The location is Sulu, 2nd DEO, Implementing Office, DPWH, Regional Office 9, Construction Division. Funding source, General Appropriation Act, GAA, for the fiscal year of 2026. Approved budget of the contract, 4,835,280 pesos and 28 centavos. Scope of works, buildings repair. Contract duration, 250 calendar days. For the major or similar category of works, major category of works, BIR, buildings repair. Similar category of works, BIRTH, buildings retrofitting high-rise. BIRTH 16, buildings retrofitting high-rise, 16 and above stories. BIRTM, building retrofitting medium-rise, 6 to 15 stories. BIRTL, building retrofitting low-rise, 1 to 5 stories. BICW, PLC, DP, buildings construction with piles low-rise, concrete frame, driven piles 1 to 5 stories. BICWPH, CDP, buildings construction with piles, high-rise construction, concrete frames, driven piles 6 and above stories. BICWPH, CDP 16, buildings construction with piles, high-rise, concrete frame, driven piles 16 and above stories. BICWPLCCP, buildings construction with piles, low-rise concrete frame, cast-in-place piles 1 to 5 stories. BIOWPHCCP 16, buildings construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame, cast-in-place piles 16 and above stories. BICWPLSDP, buildings construction with piles, low-rise steel frame, driven piles 1 to 5 stories. BICWHSDP, buildings construction with piles, high-rise steel frame, driven piles 6 and above stories. BICWPHSCP, buildings construction with piles, high-rise steel frame, cast-in-place piles 6 and above stories. BICWPHSCP 16, buildings construction with piles, high-rise steel frame, cast-in-place piles 16 and above stories. BICWOPLS, buildings construction without piles, low-rise steel frame, 1 to 5 stories. BICWOPHS, building construction without piles, high-rise steel frame, 6 and above stories. BICWOPHS 16, buildings construction without piles, high-rise steel frame, 16 and above stories. BICWOPLC, Buildings construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame, 1 to 5 stories. BICWOPHC, buildings construction without piles, high-rise concrete frame, 6 and above stories. BICWOPHC16, buildings construction without piles, high-rise concrete frame, 16 and above stories. BICWPMCDP, buildings construction without piles, medium-rise concrete frame, driven piles 6 to 15 stories. BICWPMCCP, buildings construction without piles, medium-rise concrete frame, casting-place piles 6 to 15 stories. BICWOPMC, buildings construction without piles, medium-rise concrete frame, 6 to 15 stories. BICWPMSDP, buildings construction with piles, medium-rise steel frame, driven piles 6 to 15 stories. BICWPMSCP, buildings construction with piles, medium-rise steel frame, cast-in-place piles 6 to 15 stories. BICWOPMS, buildings construction without piles, medium-rise steel frame, 16 to 15 stories. BIC buildings completion, BIRN building renovation, BIRS building restoration. The minimum major equipments required are the following: 1 unit of backhoe, 2 units of dump truck, 1 plate compactor, 1 bar welder, 1 bar cutter, 2 welding machines, 2 cutting outfit, 1 truck mounted crane, 1 bagger mixer. The minimum work experience required for key personnel are the following: 1 project manager with 5 years of general and relevant experience, 1 DPWH accredited project engineer with 5 years of general and relevant experience, 1 DPWH accredited materials engineer with 5 years of general and relevant experience, 1 safety and health officer with 3 years of general and relevant experience, 1 foreman with 5 years and 5 years of general experience and relevant experience. Please include the team number of all the pledged personnel.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the project with a contract ID of 26JO0136 with a contract name SIPAG access roads and or bridges from the national roads leading to major strategic public buildings, facilities, rehabilitation of Taglibi-Tiptipon Road, Dayok section, Panamao, Sulu. Chainage 0 to Chainage 3600. Location Sulu. Implementing Office DPWH Regional Office 9. Construction Division. Funding source General Appropriation Act Fiscal Year 2026. Approved budget for the contract. Approved budget for the contract 88,229,512.95 pesos. Scope of works, roads, rehabilitation, PCCP 3.6 kilometer. Contract duration 296 calendar days. For the major similar category of works, RRP, roads, rehabilitation, PCCP. And similar category of works, RCP, roads, construction, PCCP. RCTP, roads, construction, tunnel, PCCP. For the minimum major equipment requirements are the following: 1 backhoe with pavement breaker, 1 bar cutter, 1 bulldozer, 1 cargo truck, 1 concrete batching plant, 1 concrete saw, 1 concrete vibrator, at 2 concrete vibrator, 2 dump truck, 1 low bed trailer, 1 mechanized joint sealer machine, 1 motorized road grader, 2 payloader, 1 pneumatic tire roller, 1 power broom, 1 tandem steel roller, 4 transit mixer, one vibratory ruler, and one water trap pump. For the minimum work experience requirements for key personnel are the following: one project manager with an experience with a 5 years experience, general and relevant experience. One project manager with 5 years general and relevant experience. One DPWH accredited material engineer with 5 years general and relevant experience. One safety and health officer with 3 years general and relevant experience. One foreman with 5 years general and relevant experience. Please include the PIN number of all the pledged personnel.
So for bid security, bid validity period is 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. Bid security validity period, 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration of any form of bid security enumerated below. Cash, cashier's check, and manager's check. 2%, that's the amount of bid security. Bank, job, or guarantee, irrevocable letter of credit, and surety bond, which is 5%. For eligibility requirements, Class A documents, legal documents, registration certificate from SEC, DTI, personal proprietorship, or CPA for cooperatives, mayor's permits issued by the city or municipal, where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, tax clearance certificate as finally reviewed and approved by the BIR. For technical documents, PCAB of special PCAB license in case of JV, records of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including awarded but not yet started, records of single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to the bid, adjusted to current price using Philippine Statistics Authority current price index, with a contract amount equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. A contract shall be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has following categories as shown in the previous slides of contract data. So for financial documents, audited financial statements stamped received by the VIR of its duly accredited and authorized institutions. For the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. Computation of NFCC at least equal to ABC. Class B documents for joint venture, valid joint venture agreement or JVA. All of these documents will be electronically evaluated using the Civil Works application or CWA. Submission and receipt of bids. Contents of the first envelope, technical proposal, Field GPS Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR. B. Pickup License and Registration in case of joint venture. C. Statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started. If any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to the bid. The statement of the bidders SLCC in accordance with ITB Clause 5.5. The SLCC shall be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPS or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. E. NFCC computation in accordance with ITB Clause 5.6. F. Joint venture agreement or JVA, if applicable. G. Bid security in the prescribed form and amount in accordance with ITB Clause 16 and validity period under ITB Clause 15. H. Project requirements, which shall include the following. First is organizational chart of the personnel to be deployed for the procurement project to bid. Next, list of contractors personnel, project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, and foreman, to be assigned to the procurement project to be bid with their complete qualifications and experience data. These personnel must meet the requirement minimum years of experience set in the BDS. Next is list of contractors' major equipment unit, which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be, which must meet the minimum requirements for the contract set in the BDS, and omnibus form statement in accordance with section 54.3 of the IRR. Next, latest general information sheet or GIS reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Security and Exchange Commission for a corporation, and construction performance evaluation system rating as per DO 171 series of 2025 or an owner's certificate of final acceptance or equivalent for private sector contracts. Next, ISO 9001-2015 certification or its latest version as applicable in accordance with DPWH Department Order 110 series of 2024. This requirement applies to contracts with a pickup size range of medium A and above. Contents of the second envelope: financial proposal, duly signed bid form, duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities, duly initial detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid, duly initiated quarterly or monthly cash flow and payment schedule.
For bid evaluation, the financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The BAC shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the APC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices: completeness, no price in required item, non-responsive, indicating a 0 or a dash, free to the government. A2, prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive. For arithmetical corrections, bid prices in figures versus words prevail. Total price per item versus unit price per item, unit price prevails. Total price versus actual sum of component items, actual sum prevails. For unit cost in detailed estimate versus unit cost in BOQ, BOQ prevails. If above ABC, disqualified. For post-qualification, verification, validation, and ascertainment of all statements made and documents submitted. Legal requirements, licenses, certificates, permits, agreements, and exclusion in any blacklist. For technical requirements, key personnel, minimum work experience requirements should be satisfied. Availability and commitment of major construction equipment. Performance in ongoing government and private contracts. Authenticity and correctness of bid security. And the following qualifier shall be applied to this contract: with experience of at least 400 meters horizontal length of skill sheet filing works. Note that the above qualifiers must be supported with certificate of acceptance and bill of quantities. For financial requirements, bid price proposal and NFCC. List of key personnel as shown in the previous slides, and list of key equipment units, which may be owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as shown in the previous slides. For contract award, the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid, or LCR, as a result of the detailed evaluation and post-qualification conducted. Contract award should be made within the bid validity period. Notes on subcontracting that subcontracting is not allowed. Common errors in submission of bids are includes the following: incomplete pages of bid, technical and financial, authority of signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder, single proprietor, signatory should be the owner or proprietor only, corporation or cooperative, board secretary certificate and board resolution, joint venture resolution or agreement, partnership as indicated in the articles of partnership. For sealing and marking of bids, bidders shall enclose their technical documents described in IT Clause 12 in one sealed envelope marked as technical component, and the financial component in another sealed envelope marked as financial component, sealing them all in another envelope marked bid. The bid shall be typed or written in ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representatives. All envelopes shall contain the name of the contractor to be bid in capital letters. B shall bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters. C be addressed to the procuring entities back in accordance with ITD Clause 18.1. D bear the specific identification of the bidding process indicated in the ITD Clause 1.1, and E bear a warning: do not open before the date and time for opening of bids in accordance with ITD Clause 19. For manually submitted bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked as required in the bidding documents, the same shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. On the other hand, unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes or bids that cannot be opened or drafted in case of online submission shall be rejected. The bank shall assume no responsibility for misplaced or lost contents of improperly sealed or marked bid or for its premature opening. And lastly, the bidder shall submit one original copy and 2 copies of the first technical and second financial components of its bid. As shown is the sample.
For the schedules, the deadline of submission of clarification will be on June 6, 2026, addressed to Attorney Beverly B. Montalvo, Chief ROA, Bank Chairperson, and to Engineer Yuda Ditan, Engineer 3, OIC Head of Bank Secretariat. Deadline of submission of bids will be on June 16, 2026 at 10 a.m. And number of copies of bid proposal, 1 original copy and 2 copies of the first technical and second financial envelope of its bids. For the place of submission of bids will be on the Procurement Unit, DPWH Regional Office 9, Veterans Avenue Extension, Zamboanga City, or through the link electronic bids r9@dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission. And this is live stream on our YouTube channel on the link as shown on the screen. Madam Chair, for the Bank Secretariat would like to remind all prospective bidders to please be guided accordingly on the important department orders and memoranda issued by the Department of Public Works and Highways, which shall be considered in the preparation and completion of their bidding documents and the implementation of infrastructure projects. First, based on the Department Order Number 98, Series of 2016, with the subject revised guidelines on the accreditation of contractors, consultants, materials engineers. These orders prescribe that qualifications and procedures for the accreditation of contractors and consultant materials engineers. Applicants must be licensed engineers and must pass the required written examination, while those seeking accreditation as material engineer 2 must also pass a practical examination. The order aims to ensure that only competent and qualified materials engineers are assigned to DPWH projects. Pursuant to Department Order Number 227, Series of 2024, with the subject suspension of Department Order Number 148, Series of 2024, this order temporarily suspends the implementation of the accreditation and assignment of requirements for contractors and consultants project engineers due to the limited availability of accredited engineers. However, the suspension does not apply to building and bridges projects, and accreditation examinations will continue to be conducted. Pursuant to Memorandum dated June 25, 2024, with the subject implementation of assigning accredited contractors and consultant project engineers, this memorandum reminds contractors and consultants of the requirement to assign accredited project engineers to DPWH projects. It also provides guidelines on the validity and application period of accreditation examination results to increase the number of accredited engineers available for project implementation. Pursuant to Department Order Number 58, Series of 2012, with the subject inclusion of material data on pledged equipment of a bidder in his bid documents. This requires bidders to submit complete technical information on all equipment pledged for a project, including specifications, capacities, and locations. The purpose is to facilitate equipment verification during post-qualification and ensure that contractors possess the resources necessary to undertake the project. Pursuant to Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, Technical Requirements for Civil Works Projects for Public Bidding, this order provides guidelines on the technical requirements for civil works projects, including the proper classification of proper project categories, verification of key technical personnel, and inspection of pledged equipment. It seeks to prevent delays and ensure transparency during eligibility checking and post-qualifications. Pursuant to Department Order Number 110, Series of 2024, implementation of ISO 9001, 2015 certification requirement for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. This order mandates ISO 9001, 2015 certification as a requirement for specified categories of contractors participating in DPWH infrastructure projects. The policy aims to promote quality management, efficiency, and adherence to international standards in project implementation. Pursuant to Department Order Number 48, Series of 2019, guidelines on the use of inertial profiler for inspection and acceptance of pavement on national primary roads. This order establishes the use of inertial profiler and International Roughness Index or IRI in evaluating pavement smoothness on national primary roads. It requires implementing offices to include pavement smoothness requirements in contract documents and ensures that road quality is objectively measured before project acceptance. Pursuant to Department Order Number 253, Series of 2003, accreditation of asphalts and Portland cement concrete batching plants. This order authorizes the Bureau of Research and Standards, or BRS, to accredit asphalt and concrete batching plants supplying materials for DPWH projects. This aims to improve the quality of construction materials used in public infrastructure by requiring suppliers to comply with accreditation standards. Pursuant to Department Order Number 127, Series of 2018, strict application of RA 9184 in the conduct of post-qualifications of leaders with delayed ongoing contracts with DPWH. This order strengthens the post-qualification process by requiring BAC to verify the leader's experience, key technical personnel, equipment, and performance in ongoing projects. Contractors with significant negative slippage or poor performance records may be disqualified to ensure that only capable contractors are awarded DPWH project. And lastly, reminders to bids and awards committees and procurement unit related to memorandum dated May 28, 2026, with the subject strengthening disclosure of ongoing and awarded projects and verification and net financial contracting capacity or NFCC in the DPWH procurement. This memorandum reinforces the requirement for bidders to fully and truthfully disclose all ongoing projects and awarded contracts, including those not yet started during the bidding process. Its direct BAC and procurement units to remind prospective bidders of the obligation during bid conference and warns that failure to disclose such contracts may result in disqualification and other sanctions. That would be all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Dewey. Do we have other reminders from the Bids and Awards Committee? Sir Dan? There being no other matter to discuss, on behalf of the Bids and Awards Committee, I would like to extend my gratitude to our hardworking young engineers. Your support to the Bids and Awards Committee is recognized and appreciated. Thank you so much. The pre-bid conference is now adjourned.